Greetings everyone, my name is Buck Business, and today I'm going to be reviewing a fan-made parody between My Little Pony and Gravity Falls, made by sibling KR Animations called Canterlot Falls, Friendship is Mystery. My initial advice in their first episode was to move the disclaimer to the beginning of the video. I just felt like it would be a bit safer to do that instead of saving it toward the end. My other part of the comment was to, when naming the characters from the MLP show, to show which character they represented in the Gravity Falls show. So, for example, when Twilight pops up, to have her name as well as Dipper's name, just for example. Now, this next piece of advice only applies to this episode, but I noticed that most of their images do not take up the entire screen. I would have recommended looking into a free program like GIMP and using it to stretch the images to fit the entire screen. The narration is clear and the quality of sound is nice. I was able to pick up that Twilight was supposed to represent Dipper and Pinkie Pie was supposed to represent Mabel. These matches are solid and Celestia as Stan is golden. However, I did have a harder time understanding which characters Spike and Rarity were supposed to be. I assumed that Applejack was either Wendy or Seuss based off of the short time she was on screen. The transitions were poor, but at least they acknowledged it. I got a bit lost in the story when Sakura was introduced. Now, I don't know if that was to keep intact with the first episode of Gravity Falls. I can't say since I haven't seen the first episode in a really long time, and I just don't remember how that compares to the show, or if they were trying to go for their own thing at the end there. The ending uses a parody of Star versus the Forces of Evil, and having a code very similar to Gravity Falls. I don't know if that means anything. I don't usually go for the whole code thing if there is one on a show. I usually just sort of wait for those to get, I guess, answered by others. Anyways, I think with the exception of Celestia, the other characters' time on screen was a bit short and harder to understand as far as what their purpose was. Again, that is mostly due to just the amount of time they are on screen. And one thing I would say is that the transition bit is something that I've personally had a tough time figuring out, as I mainly use one vector to display my reviews. However, I used to use a program with Microsoft PowerPoint, and what I would use to do is slide in and out of characters from in the frame to out of frame, for example. I think this could have been used to help with the whole Applejack and Rarity bit. Have one of the characters slide out of the frame, being Rarity, I believe, and then having Applejack slide into the frame. And again, I used to be able to do that with PowerPoint, so maybe that might be a recommendation to look into if they are going to maintain that style of using those vectors like that. I would lastly recommend trying to use other websites like Twitter and VidMe to expand where their videos can be viewed. The humor was mostly on point when I could understand which characters are which. Again, that mostly comes from Twilight and Pinkie Pie, and I got a little bit more lost when it came to characters like Spike, Rarity, and Applejack as far as the first episode is concerned. And Celestia was probably one of the funniest bits, since that makes just way too much sense. Anyways, If you enjoyed this review, then please head on over to Sibling KR Animation's channel and show your support with comments and further tips to help them develop their channel grow. Feel free to also like, comment, and subscribe to my channel as well. And until next time, farewell, everyone.